Well, hello plant lovers, it is Matthew in Melbourne welcoming you to my channel. Thank you for finding me in the crowded world of orchid videos on YouTube. And this channel is really about me trying to grow cold, cool, intermediate orchids here in Melbourne, Australia without a greenhouse or grow lights or humidifiers or any equipment really. Just me and them finding our own place inside or outside or not at all. So plant lovers, if that sounds like your bag, do hit subscribe and the notification bell, and I post every week on a Friday. I am a complete amateur. But plant lovers, sometimes things really work. And I made a video a couple of weeks ago about Laelia anceps. This is a variety called Rosy Tiger. And the tiger bit refers to the beautiful sort of speckled nature of the inside of the throat there. Stunning, stunning plant. And in that video I mentioned I've got three plants. One is pure white, although it still has the little gold on the lip. And the other one is a paler version of this, very pale, but with a stronger purple lip. So they're my three sort of Laelia anceps. And I did say in that video, I might be willing to get more if they were kind of in a different colorway. Well, plant lovers, the secret social media gods must have been listening to me, because popping up on eBay was a yellow Laelia species, which now isn't actually a Laelia, it's in Cattleya, but for the sake of this video, we'll stick with the Laelia name. So I think, without further ado, what we need to do is open it, and then I can tell you all about what this is, well, hopefully, it could be a dead shriveled nothing, and why I bought it. Okay, I'm going to spin the camera around and we're going to open this box. Okay, here we are. Now, I am not sure if this has been sent bare rooted or not, so we'll find out. Let's just see. It's a very tight little box, I must say, but when we get to the orchid, perhaps the size of the package can be explained. Let's just see what we've got in here, plant lovers. Ta-da, ta-da. Oh no, it's in a pot. That's always a great sign. There we are. Well taped in to the side of the box, which is also a good sign. Let's get this out. And there it is. Look at that little baby. Okay, I'm going to spin the camera around and let's have a proper look. Here it is, plant lovers. And actually the tag is in there, if we can unearth it. Well, you won't be able to read that. But it is Laelia Blumenscheinii. Yes! Although it's a Cattleya, but anyway, let's just call it a Laelia for the time being. And look at that charming little thing. So if you were to Google this, plant lovers, you will see that it has a golden tangerine yellow flower. Yellow! Now, as all of my Laelias are in the similar sort of palette from white with a gold throat all the way through to this darker one and slightly in between, basically in that whitey pink arena, I did joke, I think, if there was a yellow or a blue one or bright red. Anyway, there is a yellow one, although it's not anymore, but whatever. So here it is. Now let me tell you all about this plant and how it might well be a little easier for me to grow, but I'm just going to unearth it first of all. And let's see what's going on with the root system. Okay, removing the sellotape. It's very well packed. So I bought this on eBay, and I don't know, it depends really where you are in the world, I suppose, but Australia does have a lot of really great orchid sellers on eBay. Like anything, it can be potluck, stab in the dark. I've had some very sad things, but hey ho, that's the way of the world, isn't it? Now, let me just ease this off without damaging the plant, and there we are. Ta-da, ta-da. So it's in a little pot, it's very dry, which is not such a bad thing in winter at the moment here. And it is growing in, it's actually growing in pumice. Let me see if I can get that to focus for you. Look at that, pumice stone. Interesting, because, well, let me read you out what this plant is. And it might look small and unprepossessing, but it's not. So its name is Laelia Cattleya Blumenscheinii, and Mr. Blumenschein was a botanist after whom this plant was named. It was discovered in the 70s, I think, and it's found on that central coast of Brazil, where there is that sort of Atlantic forest biome, which changes obviously from the coast further up the mountains, but it's quite a moist, humid, very, very botanically and biologically rich hotspot there, and there's a lot of orchids that have originated there and a lot of Laelias. This one comes from that spot. So Mr. Blumenschien, Brazilian botanist, but ironically, Blumenschien in German means magnificent flower, sort of splendid flower, which would be like splendida as a suffix for a plant. So ironically, the name of the person it was named after literally translates to hopefully what the flower will look like, which is fabulous. So it's described as a cool grower, big tick for me, which means it will probably do very well in Melbourne. And also it comes from quite high altitudes. So that Atlantic sort of tropical biome we were talking about, obviously as you get further inland and further up, the climate changes. And really anything that can take high altitudes generally can take cooler, particularly winter nighttime minimums, and generally do quite well in Melbourne. So this is an altitude plant up to 1200 meters. And is a lithophyte. So this is why it has been grown in little pumice stones. Now, I said this about many things, but there are epiphytes and epiphytes and epiphytes. There are lithophytes, lithophytes, and lithophytes. So I think lithophyte literally means it grows on rocks. But of course, you kind of need to tease that out to understand perhaps what the conditions are. So some plants are clingers. A lot of epiphytic plants cling to the side of an almost sheer trunk, and they use their roots to cling to the side of the tree, maybe get into a little bit of the bark, and maybe if there's anything else there. Then there are epiphytes that grow on a tree still, but more in an area where matter has collected, perhaps around moss. So there'll be some dead leaves and some moss, little things growing. And then there are also those which grow much more fully, sort of perhaps down at the roots of the tree where there's much more matter has built up and they have more vigorous root systems. Similarly with lithophytes, so they are not literally clinging to the side of the rock, though perhaps there are some that do. So this sort of orchid will have grown in the wild in a crevice on a rock face or a cliff where matter has built up, often around lichen and moss, so a few leaves and other dead matter. So there's a little bit of an enclave of matter there for the plant to get its roots into. Obviously too, it's rock, which means that water's going to run past the plant and away quite quickly, although it will perhaps gather in the crevice. But rock obviously will dry out and evaporate quite quickly given a bit of sun. So lithophytes tend to be wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, because they do dry out quite quickly. Depends, of course, on the climate of the area they're growing in. Anyway, in a nutshell, a lithophyte's going to need free draining mix and probably dry out reasonably before you water it again. And my experience has been with lithophytic orchids is that they can do well in bark because again it just needs to be free draining, and often where they're growing there will be some matter they're getting their roots into. But I often do mix pumice stone with my lithophytic orchids, and there's the little pumice stone again. That's sort of volcanic stone, you know, it's pitted. So although it's obviously not absorbent itself, because the surface of that rock is so pitted, moisture can sort of get stuck in and cling. So it functions a little bit like perlite would in terms of moisture can get kind of trapped in the little crevices of these rocks until it completely evaporates. So they don't absorb it, but they help trap the water. But also it helps elevate and enliven the soil mix so that your plant is in a free draining mix with a hint of rock, which might remind it of its ancestral home. And the other thing with this particular lithophytic orchid, a bit like Australian Dendrobium speciosum, for example, which is called the Sydney rock orchid, is that they can take full sun. So this plant is going to need a lot of light for it to thrive and flower for me, because I've had a bit of trouble with my Laelias giving them enough light. And I'll link the film about those, telling you my terrible tale of woe in burning them by putting them in too much light. So with this one, it's midwinter here, so I'm just going to hang it somewhere very, very bright indirect light, under cover to keep it dry, because I want to control the moisture getting to it. It did come from a grower in my state, so that does help. So wherever this person is, their winters are going to be as cold as mine, or even colder. Of course, I'm not sure if this was growing in a greenhouse or a shade house or had a bit of heat. So softly, softly, gently, gently, but it is going to go outside. And then in spring, I might repot it in something that's to me a bit more attractive than black plastic. But really, all I'm going to do now is just give it a seaweed solution water. So a small drop of a seaweed solution in a watering can. I find that's a great sort of tonic for things that have been in the post or have been shipped to you that might not look great. But this plant looks fantastic. Now, the other thing about Laelia blumenschenii is that it's a small, almost miniature orchid, although that's not really miniature, but it's small. It's a compact plant. And this is flowering size. Now, if you compare this to my Laelia anceps here, look at that. So I'm here to tell you, plant lovers, this one, touch wood, is going to be a whole lot easier to manage from a potting and a space perspective, because it's probably, you know, over time it will get bigger, but it's not going to be a massive plant at all. And, you know, if it fills this pot, it will be quite an achievement, I think. So I'll be curious to see. Laelia anceps has a very creeping rhizome and it's very lollopy and really is a runner, whereas this looks more like it has kind of classic pseudobulbs in the Cattleya style, I must say. So perhaps that's why it has been popped back into Cattleya by Q. But ultimately, it's a small plant, so it's going to be very easy for me to manage. So it's a Southern Hemisphere plant, and it is described as flowering in August and September, which is late winter, early spring in the Southern Hemisphere. Now, I'm filming this in July, so August is next month, and I am not sure, in fact, I'm quite sure that there's nothing going on from a flowering perspective with this plant, but my Laelia anceps, obviously all three, well, apart from one, which I nearly killed by burning it, but the other two, are in spike and have flowered midwinter. So that would make sense. I do think, although it's described as being flowering size, I do think this plant might have a bit more growing to do before it does bloom for me. But I'm really excited by that. It's small, it's a Laelia, and it's got bright yellow flowers, and it's going to love my climate, hopefully. So there we are, plant lovers, my single orchid purchase for the season. I've been easing up on buying orchids because I've got a lot. We're about to move, but I don't know. The Laelia bug just got me this month and I was intrigued to see this one. So I will go and hang it up. I'll give it a nice seaweed bathe and then we can follow its progress in the new year and see if it produces a new growth for me and what that looks like and how the orchid progresses. So plant lovers, I hope if you're in the mood to buy an orchid, you have. It's arrived successfully and beautifully for you. This one should do well for me. It should like my winter minimums. It should like my summer temperatures. It should love a slightly drier winter. So all things are looking good. And I hope they're looking good for you. I will be posting again next Friday. Who knows what we'll be talking about, but I'm sure it will be gripping. But in the meantime, take care wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you next week.